In today's video, we're going to find the slope of a line passing through 2 points. The points we're going to be using in this example is going to be 5, 6, and 4, negative 1. On the right hand side, you see the slope equals rise over run. And rise that's going over is rise means how many units you move up or down from one point to point. The run means how far left or right you move from point to point. So for the formula for slope, m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. All the time before solving the problems, so you won't get confused, you can go ahead and on top we start from this point and we just write x1 and then we write y1 so we won't get confused. We go on the second point and we do x2 and then we write y2. So then after that we're just going to go ahead and plug in the numbers into the formula. The formula is m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we're going to go ahead and just plug in the numbers. M equals, what's y2? We already labeled it here, so we have negative 1 minus, what is y1? We're going to go ahead, we already labeled that, that's to be 6, divided by, what's x2? We labeled that, that's going to be 4, minus, what's x1? Here is 5. So we're going to go ahead, and this negative is going to become a positive. So we're going to use another marker. It becomes a positive. So this is going to become a negative. Then we're going to go ahead and add negative 1 plus negative 6 is going to be negative 7 over this 4. This is minus or negative. This becomes a positive, and this 5 becomes a negative 5. You have two different signs. You have a 4 and you have a negative 5. So it's going to go ahead and subtract because you have two different signs. So what's bigger? 5. 5 take away 4 is going to be 1, negative 1. And we go back, and don't forget, a negative times a negative. And when you divide, a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. And 1 goes into 7. 7. So that's going to be your answer. In this example, the 2 points we're using is on the first one we have negative 4, 2, and then the other points that we're using is 4 and 7. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did on the other problem. Just to don't get confused, we'll go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2. Then we're going to go ahead and just plug in our numbers to the formula. And once again, the formula is on the right. I'm just going to write it here. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I'm going to go ahead and just plug in the numbers. Y2, go ahead here, put 7 minus, what's y1? y1 is 2 divided by x2. x2 is 4 minus x1 is, just put a parenthesis for negative 4. And go ahead and subtract 7 minus 2. It's going to be 5 divided by this negative. Subtraction becomes positive, and this becomes positive. 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. So our slope for this problem is going to be 5 over 8. In this example, we're going to be using 6, not 6 and 9, and 7 and 1 for our 2 points. So once again, go ahead. You don't have to do this, but you can go ahead so you won't get confused. Go ahead and label it. Top of the 6, x1, y1, x2, y2. Then go ahead and put in the formula for the slope. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Go ahead and plug in your y2, which we're going to get from the right side is 1 minus our y1, which is 9, divided by our x2, which is 7, minus our x1, so x1 is going to be 6. I'm going to go ahead and solve it. This there turns into a positive. This 9 becomes a negative. Go ahead and do two different signs. You have one that is a positive and one that you have a negative. So positive and a negative, you're always going to subtract. So 9 take away 1 is going to be 8. Don't forget to put your negative. And then we have 7 minus 6, which is going to be 1. And 1 goes into 8. 8 times. But don't forget that a negative times a positive is going to be a negative. So the slope for this problem is going to be negative 8. In this problem, we're going to be using 2 and 8. And on the other points, we're going to be using 4 and 9. I'm going to go ahead and label them so I won't get confused. Go ahead and put x1, y1, x2, y2. Then I'm going to go ahead and just put in the formula. And for slope, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I'm going to go ahead and put in the numbers for y2. y2 is 9 minus y1 here is 8 divided by x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 2. So now we're going to go and subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. And then we got 4 minus 2 is 2. So for your slope for this problem is going to be 1/2. And this final problem that we're going to be doing, we're going to use the points 5, 2, and 6, negative 11. This time, if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead and pause the video and try solving the problem on your own. After that, you can go ahead and put play, and then we'll show you how to solve it step by step. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and label them like we always label them. It's going to be x1, y1. We're going to have x2, y2. Then we're going to go ahead and just put the formulas. So the right side is the same one. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now we're going to be plugging in our numbers. So M equals, what's y2? Y2 is negative 11 minus our y1, which is 2, divided by x2. x2 is going to be 6 minus, what's our x1? It's going to be 5. We're going to go ahead and solve it. So this, we're going to turn into a positive, and this 2 is going to become a negative. We're going to go ahead and do negative 11 plus negative 2 is going to be negative 13. The reason it's going to be negative 13 is going to be because we have two of the same signs. We have negative 11 and we have negative 2. So when we have two of the same signs, we're going to go ahead and add them. So 6 minus 5 is going to be 1. And 1 goes into negative 13. Negative times a positive is going to be a negative. So your answer for this problem is going to be negative 13. And go ahead and check your work. If you want to hit and pause the video and check your work if you have the same answer. If not, you can go ahead and look at it and go back and see where you did your mistakes. Okay? Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.